How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI and what a green day we had inside of the market. Plus, on top of that, we have the Los Angeles Rams that are going to be going to the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium. Again, you guys can tell from my expression, I'm excited. I'm excited for this stock as well. Let's get into it. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the selling and the buying behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SoFi. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $12.48, being up 12.43%. On the low, it tested $11.05, and then on the high, testing $12.50. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 72.245 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 117.43 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we saw a lot of strength in SoFi stock. A lot better of a performance than what we saw on the Friday. Now, when we take a look at a chart, which is the daily chart, you can see that we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And like I said in the previous video, we knew that SoFi was in our bear market, but what we got today, I must say, it was great to see. Oh, also the RSI down below is around 42.89. So again, we have a lot more room to catch up and where we could see even more momentum. So as far as the price action that we saw, I'd want to see us going into tomorrow using $12 as an area of support. And the reason why this is a good thing if we have that pullback is because if we take a look at the two prior trading days, including today, we've been able to form a higher low. So building another higher low right here at 12 bucks can set us up real nice so we can get to around the $13 level. We know around $13 this will be a psychological area. We could see some profit taking, but if we have more volume coming into the stock, then don't be shocked if you see us get to the 21-day EMA around $13.38 and then seeing where we can go from there. And then we got that great news with the Rams advancing to the Super Bowl themselves, having that home field advantage. So again, this is going to be very interesting. SoFi does look really good right now, and I will continue to keep you guys updated. Let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SoFi. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we're going to be taking a look at the recent filings for January the 31st. We can see here we have Robeco Institutional Asset Management BV that purchased 24,179 shares. We have the State of New Jersey Common Pension Fund that purchased over 318,000 shares. We also have Toth Financial Advisor Corp that purchased 350 shares. We also have Invesco Pure Beta that purchased 31,383 shares. We have New Edge Wealth LLC that purchased 47,000 shares. And we also have Life Pro Asset Management that purchased 647,030 shares. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 40.58%. And then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 17.629 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 12 minutes ago. And then for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.57%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 27th, it was at 40.48. And then for the close of the 28th being at 40.58. So one thing that remains the same, SoFi does continue to have short squeeze potential. And if you see the updated numbers later on in the evening, then you can let us know inside of the comment section as well. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SOFI. So we see here on the inflow, it's at 153, and then on the outflow, it's at 184. So it was an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 2.86. On the medium, it was 107, and then on the small, it was 43.02. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 1.12. On the medium, it was 135, and then on the small, it was 47.84. These numbers are in the millions. And then when we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, January the 31st, it being at 1.74 on that inflow. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. But when we take a look at the large, though, it tends to represent whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 9.01%. So yes, this is up there for a stock like SOFI. We know there were a good amount of traders in this play, but we also had more volume due to the strength that we saw inside of the market. Again, I don't feel this run is over as of yet. We might have a little bit of parts where we cool down and so on, but I want to make sure you guys are in the loop, but I will talk about that inside of the final thoughts. So let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for SOFI in regards to the price action, what we want to see is it continue to hold up the $12 level. And I want to see a move to $13 sometime this week. I feel it is very doable even if we have a slight pullback inside of the market. Another thing to be aware of, on the Friday, a lot of us were saying, hey, what happened with SOFI? It was barely moving. And now for today, hey, we were rewarded for our patience. But another thing that I want to bring up, if we see some weakness and it falls below 12 bucks, again, this is where it can start struggling in that $11 range and then getting into that $10 range. But for the most part, the chart does look really good, and I want to see that move going to $13. And if we can get above $13.38 to be exact, things can get very interesting. And what I mean by that, we can start getting to 14 and as well as 15. And with the Super Bowl right around the corner, and plus we have the Los Angeles Rams with the home team and so forth, I think things can get very interesting. It also does give SOFI a lot of attention. So I'm not saying this is going to be a guarantee to impact the stock for the short term, but it's a variable that you need to also realize. Plus, on top of that, we could see for the fintech sector as a whole had a very strong day. It wasn't only SOFI alone. I was talking about on Twitter that Tesla literally carried the market on its back today, and if you take a look at how that stock performed, it was incredible. So taking that into consideration, yes, things can cool off. Things can have a pullback. I just want to make sure that it's something that you're aware of, and if you do see it with SOFI stock, don't be frustrated about it. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So again, you're going to see a lot of volatility. But if we have continued buying pressure coming into the stock, this is where we look forward to seeing that move to the upside. And when we took a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions have been loading up on shares. So this is a great sign to see as well. But you guys know already, SOFI has a ton of potential, and it's part of the reasons why it's one of my high conviction plays. I do feel this is a company that you want to look out for, and if you are vested in the stock, you shouldn't be afraid to add on those dips. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just talking about for myself. I don't mind adding on those dips. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.